Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Jobberman Soft Skills Training. This is our onboarding session for our August batch. So if you are on this call, it means that you're one of the leaders who have taken initiative to upskill yourself in these uncertain times. And we're extremely glad to have you. My team and I have taken a lot of time in preparing the curriculum. I already see Prince smiling. Prince Ewairi. I can see some of you. Adit Soon, Ifoma, Hamed. Welcome and welcome. Guys, feel free to use the chat section. We're going to make this as interactive as possible. So if you have any questions at all, please use the chat section. This is an opportunity for you to ask questions as you listen to me. So please feel free to raise up your hand if you have to, or use the chat, and we'll be more than happy to answer. I'm just going to go right in and share my slides. Again, I'll stop intermittently so that my colleagues can join. But perhaps introduce myself first so that you know the person bothering you this afternoon. My name is Precious Imuwahe Ajonu. I'm Head Youth Engagement and Learning at Jobberman. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm Head Youth Engagement and Learning at Jobberman. And I manage the program implementation efforts for the MasterCard Foundation project. I have my teammates here. There's Prince, who set up this call. There's Chidima, there's Olaoluwa, and they will all be introducing themselves when it's their time to speak. Please, if you have any questions, but I'm just going to tell you high level what we are trying to achieve through the slides. So please, let's make this as engaging as possible. And if you can see my screen, I'm just going to attempt to share it now. Once you can see it, be kind enough to raise up your hand so that Precious is aware that you can see her. If you can see my screen, okay, one hand raised, another hand raised. Can I get 10 people, perhaps 7, 8? Can we make it 10? Absolutely. Now we have 12 people. Thank you so much. You're already a super responsive class. I like. So today we're going to be talking about today's skills that can land you your dream job or even make you an entrepreneur for those of you who are looking to take that pop-up business to the next level. And it's brought to you by Jobberman Youth Engagement. So about Jobberman, for those of us who are wondering, what does that, what does Jobberman even mean, or why am I here? For those of us who stumbled into this place, Jobberman is Nigeria's #1 online recruitment enabler with over 2 million candidates and counting on our platform and over 60,000 employers. If you are a job seeker, Jobberman is the place to be. You can't be a job seeker and you're not on Jobberman, right? I particularly like Esosa's story, one of the people who work, in our team. All her jobs since she left school, she's gotten it on Jobberman. So please sign up if you haven't done that already. And what is Jobberman Youth Engagement? We are an arm of Jobberman, part of the MasterCard Foundation project. And like I said earlier, we had the implementation efforts on the project. And what's the project about? What problem are we trying to solve? We are trying, and we will, by the way, upskill 5 million job seekers and help place 3 million in dignified work within the next 5 years. So the reason we're offering this free soft skills training is because we genuinely care. We want to see you succeed. This is a pilot project powered by Jobberman and MasterCard, and we are training you for free. Let me say this because every time I chance upon a class, I'm always hoping to find people like me, people who are hungry and people who want to get somewhere. It is not very often that you will find a content this good available for free. Typically, when I used to do training for multinational organizations, they pay good money to get the content that you're getting for free thanks to MasterCard and Jobberman. So I will encourage you to get your notepads out. This is mine here. Get your notepad, get your pen, and get ready for an unforgettable learning experience. We are targeting people within the ages of 18 to 35 for our free soft skills training. And we are piloting with 5 states, so Lagos, Kano, and Kaduna. If we have people from Empower here, this is one of the reasons why we are partnered with the Office of the Focal Person, Kaduna State. All right, so what should you expect? I'm going to start off by taking a course on personal effectiveness and time management, effective communication, and presentation skills. My colleague Laolua will come and talk about creativity, critical thinking, employability skills. Guys, you need to be able to write your CV. You need to be able to go for interviews, sit down, and answer questions. Yesterday, I had two recruiters who were headhunting me. And I could easily have picked up the phone and then be like, hello, Talon Soro. But you never know when a recruiter is going to call you. You never know when somebody is going to call and say, you know what, I'm trying to offer a job. So whilst it's good for you to be well versed in your language, you need to be really polite if you're a job seeker when you answer the phone, because you never know who is calling. Hey, it might just be the World Bank. So please pay attention to what Olaoluwa will be sharing with you. It will help you. And then Chidima is going to talk about business etiquette, the fine art of being ethical. And then finish up with emotional intelligence. If any of you have interacted with our courses on Thinkific, you already know my colleagues and myself. Okay, do we have any questions at this point before I jump into personal effectiveness? Unfortunately, I have another call at 1:30, so I'm going to have to jump out of this call in 30 minutes. So I have just 30 minutes with you. If you have any questions, please ask me. I see some hands raised, so I might just stop sharing just so that I can very quickly answer your questions, because that's why we're here. Somebody sent me a private message. Okay. Please go ahead, Ma. I will. Thank you for me for that. I can't see. I think Good Luck sent me a private message. Unfortunately, I can't see your message. Okay, so I'm just going to. People are grabbing popcorns. I like it. So let me go back to sharing my screen and let's get this show on the road. All righty. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about personal effectiveness and time management. But I'll start off with personal effectiveness. And for those who don't know, this is one of my favorite things to teach. What is personal effectiveness? What does it mean to be personally effective? Um, it can't just be about achieving our goals, because sometimes some of us have been programmed to be robotic. What I mean by that is to be a machine. So what we consider, I'm an A student. I've met people who are A students, who are star employees, who are grossly unhappy. So what is personal effectiveness? Or people who are great on, in one side of their life, but other parts of their life, might be suffering. So it's very important that, you are grounded. So if you're a mother like me, I need to be a star employee at work. Hey, I need to be a star a star wife, not employee. My husband hasn't employed me yet. I need to be a star wife, if possible. Star in-law, if I can help it, being first child, um, star child, if possible. And then, of course, be the best mom to my children. So how do you balance all of these different moving parts and still be effective? Oh, and I need to be, if possible, the best mentor to my team, isn't it? So that's a whole lot of moving parts that you need to balance. Who then do we say is personally effective? Number one is the person who takes ownership, end-to-end ownership. Guys, for those of us who are still in university, how do you remember when you have an A or they gave you an F? When we go and check our results on the board, ah, this man, they just gave me an F. Well, what was it? They gave me. But when it's an A, what do you say? You say, you know what? I had a first class, like I like to say, right? But if you say 10th class or they just let my people go results, you say, it's these people that gave me. You know how it's always something outside of us rather than something inside of us that is putting us in position that we are. But somebody who is personally effective takes ownership. They understand that there is no point being a victim. You're not a victim to anything. You are a leader, you are a lion, and you show up in this world as you are. So end-to-end ownership, even when it doesn't work out, because it's very easy to take ownership for the good things. When the job works out, when you get the best grades, yes, I did it. But when it doesn't work out, I understand, excuse me, I need to support my back. So when it doesn't work out, some of us are unable to say, you know what, I'm going to take ownership for that as well. So there's that. And then end-to-end ownership, you're results oriented. I had a very interesting meeting earlier today. I'm a storyteller, so pardon me, you're going to hear lots of stories. Um, and so I was talking to somebody who just joined our team, and he said something that struck me, and I'm like, wow, this is my people. And he said, look, I like to get the job done, and then when I'm done, I come back to discuss what happened or what didn't happen. And I'm like, wow, way to go. So you're result oriented. Some of us are task oriented. We want to talk about, I trekked from here to Okokomaiko. Before I now got there, the bus now flew out, this now happened, just stories. And then when you're done with your stories, what do you have to show for it? Absolutely nothing. But this person is results oriented. They are able to discover latent needs. Sometimes, and especially if you are the kind of person, either you're mentoring a team or either you are a salesperson, for example. Sometimes, if any of you have ever done sales or plan to have a career in sales, you go to a client and they'll tell you they don't have any problem. But if you are well versed in understanding tone of voice, having all these skills and being really effective, you might be able to sit down with that person until you figure out what the problem is and then you solve it. And they're executors. So this goes with being result oriented. There's speed, guys, we live in uncertain times. I remember when I used to write a lot, and we were taught in school that before your article gets published, it's already stale. And this was talking to me 10 years ago. So imagine how it is now. You need to have speed, you need to be purposeful, and you need to crave for perfection. But by perfection here, it does not mean you are not open to failure, but you want to get it right the first time and all the time. And you must be disciplined. You cannot be a personally effective person if you are not disciplined. You need to have a disciplined mind, disciplined thoughts, disciplined action. You hear me talking about disciplined thoughts, disciplined action. You have to be proactive in your communication. You need to be able to multitask. It's the reason why I said all of us, it doesn't get easier. I remember when Mark Zuckerberg came to Nigeria and we saw him jogging in Lekki. And I was thinking to myself, if this man can find time to exercise, especially don't have any excuse. Because then I used to feel I was a consultant. I thought I had so many different portfolios and I was managing. But I'm like, guess what? If Mark Zuckerberg, the billionaire in dollars, by the way, can find the time to exercise, what's my excuse? So you have to be disciplined. And of course, you have to be open to learning. If there's one thing that I know for a fact, is there's so much that I don't know. So much that I don't know. And therein lies the magic of life. I don't know everything. I mean, there's something that all of you on this call can teach me. And now I'm going to talk about time management. Time management here is focused on how you manage your time. And guys, this is a question, personal organization and time management go hand in hand. Which one do you think leads to which? A simple answer for that will be both. Because you cannot be personally effective, right, without time management. Because you're going to have so many different things that need your time, including that post on Instagram that is not necessary. But some of us cannot just help it. We have to go and check it out, right? So how do you manage your time? How do you avoid procrastination? How do you build all of that into personal effectiveness? This is a teaser, and all of this in more details is covered in our course in Thinkific. So I would strongly encourage you to take this seriously because you'll get a whole lot out of it. Okay, before I go quickly to effective communication, I'm just going to come back real quick for 2 minutes and see if we have any questions, and then we can proceed. I'm sure I have time for 1 or 2. Any questions in the chat? Please, can you confirm the baseline assessment we have to take? Okay, so this is about the process flow. There is a welcome address that we've done. I don't know, I'm sure at the end, Prince will talk about it. We're going to share that in all your groups. And it's going to be on Thinkific as well, so that you have the journey map of what to expect. Because I do understand that that's very important, and my team and I have come up with that. The baseline assessment is just to find out where you are now, right? So you can take the baseline assessment, and you take the baseline assessment at the beginning of the course. So we encourage you, before you interact with the content on Thinkific, please take the baseline assessment. It tells us where you are before our training intervention. This is where you are, so don't worry about scores or whatever whatever it is. It also helps us track the effectiveness of this training. So please take the baseline test. And then when you are done with the training, now take the endline test. What we've seen historically from past training is that most people tend to move up. So you might start off at beginner level, don't worry. At the end of this training, after you've interacted with all our courses, you find that you're now proficient in soft skills. So yes, so you can take the baseline test at any time. As soon as you get the link, please take it. Can you shed more light on time management? Okay, there's more. There are more details in the course on Thinkific, but let me talk a little bit about it. You need to, for you to be a good time manager, you need to be able to schedule. Let me give you an example. Every day I wake up in the morning, I tend to wake up before my household, and I spend time boxing this time, focus time doing this, focus time doing that. And thanks to technology, there are a lot of tools that you can use, even up to people's birthdays. Because apart from being, a star employee or whatever, it's very important. My relationships are everything to me. I value relationships greatly. So I need to be able to call my friends when it's their birthday, even if the sky is falling, right? So it's important for me to schedule my time in such a way that I'm able to meet all these different obligations in a way that I can still thrive. It's not stressful. I'm not mad at my employers, mad at my family, and then I'm able to thrive. So in terms of, and then in our curriculum, you will find a time management quadrant. Please pay attention to that and start to adopt it. And it can be very, very helpful. There, we'll show you how to know what is urgent, because feedback we get, some people don't know what's urgent. Some people assume that emails are urgent. But if I go to my mailbox, there's some things that are not priority one or priority two. There's nothing wrong that I've gotten those emails, but it's not immediate priority. So we teach you some of those concepts, how to know. Now I'm going to talk about another thing dear to my heart. So you will find that there are a lot of things in this curriculum, everything that is dear to my heart. Effective communication and presentation skills. So what is it? What does it mean to communicate effectively? Guys, you cannot lead without communication. You can't lead without communicating. And it's very important to know that what is said and what is heard is usually different. So as I'm talking to you now, all of you are hearing me differently. And how are you hearing me? You're hearing me through your own personal filters. You're hearing me through whatever it is that you're thinking about. I mean, some people are thinking about, when am I going to finish this call so that I can go and send my application, or I can call room care, or I can call Bilikisu, or I can do this. Your mind is all over the place. So you might just be hearing selectively and anchoring whatever I'm saying based on your own map of the world. So if what I'm saying is true, it now means that if you want to, and for you to succeed, you need to be able to communicate effectively. So it stands to reason that this is something you need to pay attention to, because what is said and what is heard is different. Because many times we say, when you ask people, did I communicate? You say, yes, but I said it. That you said it to me doesn't mean that the way you said it is the way I've heard it. So what is then is communication? Communication is that complete loop between the sender and the receiver in such a way that what is said is what was heard. Right? What is said is what was heard. So effective communication is when you are able to get the desired result. Oftentimes, when we have conflict in organizations, we have conflicts at home and all of that, is because somebody has not been communicated effectively. And let me very quickly talk about tone of voice and how this affects communication. I'll give a real quick example so that you understand it. Hamad, turn off your video. Don't turn it off, Hamad. It's an example. Or I could say, Hamad, can you please turn off your video? Guys, which one sounded better? What approach would Hamad prefer? Hamad, feel free to very quickly answer if you got that. Did you prefer approach 1 or approach 2? Which one resonated with you? You can unmute your mic and just at least this one time. Okay. All right. So, but for most people, option 2 would probably resonate, right? Because my voice sounded kinder. The science shows that only 7% of what is communicated based on words. So those of us who are saying, well, this is what I said, or this is what I didn't say. Well, when you communicate with human beings, they're looking out for intentions, Human beings are, when you're communicating, people are looking out for your tone of voice. People are even looking out for energy. And that's why sometimes, you go into the room, and this ties into presentation for those of us who will be giving presentation. And then you go into a room and you're saying all the nice things. In fact, you're smiling and you're laughing, and people are terrified because they're thinking, I can't trust this person. And then when you ask people, they say, I really don't know what it is, but there's just something off about this individual. There's just something off. And many times it might be unknown to you, but it might be that we are not coming, there's no congruence. For communication to be effective, what you're thinking, what you're saying must align. And many times we're thinking different things because we've been taught, many things that we've been taught before now is how to convince people, how to sell yourself, all those training you go for, just talk to them. But no, we keep it real here at Jobberman because it's very important. If you don't get this right, you'll be giving presentations, especially if you're in sales, and you don't even have to be in sales. In the current COVID pandemic, every organization is looking for a sales rock star, somebody who can bring in money, somebody who can drive value, somebody who can take them to the next level. So sales skills in a lot of ways have become soft skills as well. So you need to be able to get the desired outcome. So guys, if you don't get the desired outcome, do not assume that you've communicated. And we communicate either through what? We written communication stuff that we write, either through, listening, very important. In fact, the most important skill for communication, according to Richard Branson, is the ability to listen. And what helps with listening skills? Have a journal. Very important. You might forget. You might forget what somebody said, but if you save this somewhere, you will not forget. So now I'm going to talk about presentation skills. This is very scary, especially for people in my generation. And by my generation, I mean millennials, right? Generation Zers might not have this problem because, in my children's school, they're already doing things like show and tell. They are being acculturized differently from the way we grew up. Many of us who grew up around here, our different, our parents were very nuanced in culture. And what was that culture? Keep quiet. So many of us were not taught to speak up. And that's why these days, when you have to give a public presentation,
Just we're having a little challenge with internet. 1 minute. Okay, I think I'll just take it up from there. But we can still see Precious's screen. Okay, okay. Okay, so let me share my screen, and I'll just take it up from there. Can we hear me? Can we hear me? Okay, good. Okay, okay, good. So let me just share my screen, and I'll take it up from where Precious was. 1 minute. Can you see me? Okay. One minute. Okay, I guess this works. So can you see my screen now? I think we're good to go. So Precious was talking about effective communication, right? Letting us understand the need for effective communication. How so much 1 minute. The important role it plays in our daily lives and even in the workforce, because most of what we are doing is to increase how employable we are. Is to give us an higher chance of securing a dignified job, right? So for stressing the need for effective communication. So she was saying it's used in presentations, is used in selling yourself, is used in generally communicating effectively. And she was going to go to stages in planning a presentation. One of the things we'll do is teach you how to make convincing preparation presentations, how to work with how to know the tools to use, and how to structure your presentation for for the highest impact, right? Also, storytelling, like she said, she's a storyteller. She likes telling stories. And I think it's a skill everyone should learn. Why? Everybody is tuned to listen to stories. And when you see someone telling a story, you you get you pay more attention. So if you go to events and you see someone is speaking and they say, "Oh, let me tell you a story," you see that people will give attention because everyone enjoys stories. Everyone connects to stories, right? So storytelling is a very useful skill. It will be useful across your career, whether in your business, whether you need to craft a story around whatever you're doing, whether it's social impact, whether it's a business, you need to craft a story around it. It just helps just helps to sell you better. Even in your interviews, we're going to see how storytelling, how you can structure your story to pass a message, and it just makes it more effective. So we're going to be talking about storytelling. Now, let me go to the next, which is what I'm to discuss today. Creativity and critical thinking, right? Creativity and critical thinking. So now, that's another course we're going to take. And now, why is creativity important? This quote says, creativity is one of the last remaining legal ways of gaining undue advantage. On gaining unfair advantage. Now, usually, there are problems everywhere, right? Precious was saying earlier that you see some people, you walk up to them and they tell you they don't have problems. Actually, everybody has something they want to get better. And generally, even as Nigerians, we are accustomed to identifying problems. This person is doing this thing wrong. This person is doing this thing wrong. Oh, I'm having this problem. But the reason why many of us don't get so much result is because we are probably not thinking about ideas. We are probably not being creative enough to find our ways to surmount these problems, right? So we will always naturally we see problems. Naturally, we identify problems. But you need to learn how to become creative such that you are also seeing solutions. And that is the key to creativity. Some people have learned to naturally become creative. So they are seeing things, they are seeing a creative side to it, they are seeing a solution, they are seeing, oh, this is possible, this is possible. It is the growth mindset, right? So we're going to be talking about creativity, how we can generate ideas, how we can idea generation, how we can learn to frame our minds to be accustomed to generating ideas. That's key. Also, we're going to take it further. I'm going to talk about innovation. Why innovation? Especially in the business world. Every day people invent things. Every day things are happening. However, when there's innovation, we get more results. There are inventions every day. There are people who have businesses. Someone is running a business, someone else is doing the same thing. Why is this person prospering better? Why is this person getting more results? Most likely, that person has brought in an innovation into his own business. So you can see 5 people doing the same thing. Most likely, the person doing it, getting better results, has probably introduced some innovative ideas, some innovative perspectives. So one thing we also need to learn is how to bring in that innovation. So we're going to be talking about innovation, idea generation. Also, we're going to learn how to make it our daily life so that you don't start seeing creativity as, I have this problem, I want to be creative about it. I want to generate one wonderful idea. No, we are going to see how we can make it a lifestyle such that your default state, you are thinking, right? Because one problem is that people hardly think. People are used to, so people do this more. They follow the trend. They follow others. On social media, this is what everybody is doing. Your brain automatically tells you, oh, let's do this. Everybody is doing this on Instagram. This is what is trending. We do it because that is the flow. Very few people are thinking. And it's those key people, those people that are thinking that tend to say, I've studied this, I've thought about it, I think we should do it this way, or I think it can be better this way. So that's a mindset where you are always thinking. You are always bringing new ideas. You're always trying to innovate on things, trying to get them better, trying to make them more accessible and more profitable. That is a very key characteristic we all should develop. And that's one thing we'll be looking at. Also, we'll take it forward by talking about divergent thinking and convergent thinking. That's where we'll see problem solving. We'll go to problem solving. We'll go to how we can generate multiple ideas. Then how we can realize the one that is the best solution. So we're going to be talking about that, how you can face a problem and know, oh, these are the possible ideas and this is the best solution. Also, we'll get to critical thinking. And critical thinking probably just brings everything together. It brings in the creative side, where you bring in new ideas. It also brings in the analytical side, where you now make sure those ideas are well analyzed, that you are making the right decision, right? So critical thinking is key to decision making. We're going to talk about all this in creativity and idea generation. So that's one thing we'll be doing, and that's one of the modules we'll be having. Now let me move on to employability, and which is one very important part. Employability. Everybody is asking, oh, I want to get a job. So many things. Okay, I think I see some hands raised. Let me quickly take some questions as regards creativity and idea generation. Then we talk a little bit about what we'll do in employability skills, which is quite broad. So I see a number of hands raised. Let me take a few. Okay, I think what is best is just put your question in the comment section. So let me just go to the comment section and take one or two questions. I think that works, so that we don't make this 1 minute. So comment section. So I see a few questions. I'll just take one or two. Okay, Glory, you need to focus on the. Okay, that's Precious answering. Okay, how do I convince people when marketing project? Okay, so I think these questions are probably around the content of the course. So I think one thing we'll do is once we get into the course proper, I'm sure most of our questions will be answered. I'm just seeing if there's a general question around, oh, what we're going to be doing. Okay, good. I don't think there's any core question. How can we thrive in an environment that is naturally toxic? No, certainly we are going to learn that in team working, how to work in teams, how to work with people, communication. We're going to learn all that. So let me just go to employability skills for the sake of time. So in employability skills, we'll be doing so many things. First, we're talking about CVs. How do you write an amazing CV? One, your CV is your marketing tool, right? So your CV is like that singular document you need to get in the door. It gives you a foot in the door. And the goal of your CV really is to get you an interview, right? So how are you sure that this document will get you to the interview? So we're going to be looking at how to be flexible, how to think like the employer, how to write your CV in such a way that the employer say, oh, this is the person I'm looking for. Because many times we make this mistake. We write our CV to say, oh, this is my CV, this is what I am, this is what I have done. No, that's not the approach. The approach should be, I want this job. And this employer is thinking, this is the kind of person I'm looking for. How do you write your CV such that you are that kind of person the employer is looking for? Then you get to the interview stage, right? So we're going to be looking at how to think like the employer, how to fit your CV to the job, layouts, structure. How do you structure your CV? I see so many people with, I don't know the word to use for their CVs. Some people will put their date of birth. They will put, I'm not saying that's a problem. They will put their local government. They will put their hometown. They will put how many, 1 out of 5 children, and so many things that are probably not necessary. So we'll look at what are those things that are essential in your CV. What kind of language do you use in your CV? What kind of buzzwords, spelling errors, grammar errors? How do you do research for your CV? All those things we're going to look at. Then, what are contemporary CVs? There are CVs that are outdated. There are CVs that if you used in 1990, you would have gotten the job, or in 2000, or even 2010. But now, the way CVs are written now is different because a recruiter has very limited time. 3 to 5 seconds to 10 seconds of looking at your CV. Also, we'll go to a cover letter. Why do you need a cover letter? How should you write a cover letter? How do you structure a cover letter? What is most important? Why do you need a cover letter? So that's another thing we'll be looking at in the employability section. Then job search process. So it's one thing to have a good CV. Now, how do I get to submit my CV in the right places? How do I know that this job is available? And so many people miss it there. Because let's say, for example, in the last 2 weeks, I think I've had at least 3-4 people tell me they want to they're looking for an HR position. They want to work in an HR company. And I had to have a number of discussions with them on, okay, how do you identify the right HR jobs? How do you know where to apply? How do you know how to apply? So that's one thing we'll be doing. Job search strategies. How you find the right jobs that fit you, right? So you've done your research. You know you have a good CV. You have your cover letter ready. Though you should wait till you know the job before you get your cover letter. So how do you now apply for the right jobs? We'll be discussing that. Then we'll go to interview. Now you have a good CV. You searched for the right jobs. You've applied, and because you had a good CV, they've called you for the interview. Many people miss it here. And at times, some people don't get some jobs not because they were not fit, not because they were not qualified, not because they were not competent, but simply because they did not prepare. So how do you prepare effectively for an interview? How do you know what questions would be asked? How do you know what questions to ask? How do you know how to respond to questions? All those things we would handle in the interview preparation session, and I'm sure you don't want to miss it. So we're also going to be talking about salary negotiation. How do you know what kind of salary? How do you know when you can negotiate? How do you know what to negotiate? So that's very key, and we'll be taking that in the employability section. So that's more of it from me. I think there may be 1 or 2 questions that I should attend to. Let me check. Okay. Any questions briefly before my colleague takes us on business etiquette? Okay, so in that case, I don't think there are any key questions. Let's move to business etiquette. Yes. So I think my colleague Chidima will be taking us on that.
Thank you, Olaolu. Thank you very much. Can you stop sharing your screen, please?
Sure. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Chidima Ihanacho, and I'm so glad to be speaking with all of you today. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Olaoluwa, for that very informative session. This is just a teaser, so let's put it out there. This is a teaser, you know, for the if you want to get the full details and, you know, information regarding this training, ensure you watch the videos on Thinkific. Okay, that's where we have everything fleshing out for you. Okay, and we'll also be dropping voice notes in the Telegram group, as well as lesson summaries. So just know that this is just for you. This is just to open up your mind, to make you, you know, have a little taste of what you're going to enjoy. All right, so let me share my screen quickly. Okay, yes. Yes, I believe everyone can see my screen now. Okay. Yes. Okay, yes. So I'll be talking about etiquette, business etiquette. But before we go into business etiquette, let's just talk a little about etiquette. What is etiquette? Etiquette are those rules, the code of conduct, okay? The customs that guide human behavior, social interaction. The truth is, if we all decided to behave the way we wanted, it would definitely be a crazy world. So we need to guide ourselves. We need etiquette. We need these codes to live in a sane world, to behave, you know, to behave disciplined. We need to be disciplined. So what does etiquette? Etiquette are those codes that put us in check. Okay, there are certain codes and rules that as human beings we need to follow, to abide, so we all can live like civil human beings. So we all can be civil, we all can be, we all can be respectful to each other. So that's etiquette in itself. So etiquette are the set of rules and customs which control accepted behavior within social groups and social behaviors. Now, what is business etiquette? So we now understand what etiquette means, then you can apply business etiquette. So business etiquette essentially are those rules and principles that apply in the business sense or in the workplace. It is the manner in which you should behave in a business environment. If we all decided to behave the way we wanted, if we all decided to act the way we wanted, just picture how crazy the world is, how crazy the world will be. The world will everyone will just decide to be selfish, inconsiderate. People, you will just find that there's a lot of conflict. Why? Because you are not considering your colleague, you're not considering your fellow human being. So what business etiquette does is to keep each and every one of us, to keep us in check, to let us understand that we need to consider our colleagues, we need to consider other people, we need to behave in a way that you're not compromising or you're not putting other people in an uncomfortable situation. Okay, so let's move on quickly. So now we have different types of business etiquettes. We have social etiquette, by the way. Social etiquette are those etiquette that that govern the way you behave in public, the way you interact with other people. This has to do with the way you behave at events, the way you comport yourself at events, the way you use public bathroom, right? Even your appearance. But when we're talking about business etiquette, we have office etiquette, we have dining etiquette, we have netiquette. Office etiquette relates to the way you behave in the office. How do you compose yourself in the office? Are you that loud, annoying colleague? Are you that colleague that cannot focus on what you're doing, or you keep disturbing other people, or you're just chatty everywhere? Then we have dining etiquette. You can see this, my friend here, who is happily consuming his bowl of spaghetti. Is this you? How many people are on this table? Some people do not know how to comport themselves when they see food. When you go to public events, how do you behave? Are you that person that you want to mix amala with jollof rice, with shawarma, with chicken, with Chinese, with Indo, everything together in one plate? How do you comport yourself? I'll give you a quick story. I remember, in my former place of work, I went for an event. And there was this gentleman. Obviously, you will know that immediately they said it was time to eat. He was just all over the place. He was excited. We already suspected that there's going to be a problem here today. And guess what? He did not disappoint us. He went straight to where the pounded yam and eforiro was. He first went there, loaded his eforiro and pounded yam. Mind you, this was a business event. We were having a conference. After the eforiro and pounded yam was on one side on the plate, he said, I like that fried rice. So he just felt he had to, he didn't want to come back there because there was a queue. So in that one plate, he had eforiro, he had pounded yam. He went to put fried rice by the side. As if that was not enough, he said, that Chinese sauce is looking good. He added the Chinese. Okay. In fact, all of us were just shaking our head like, which kind of problem is this? And we were all trying to comport ourselves at this event to pass a good image. Well, you can imagine how people, you can imagine the perception, people had of that gentleman that day. I want to believe people like that are not in this training. So we need to comport. So business etiquette actually, imbibes in you that culture, that professionalism, that comportment. So you know how to behave. How do you present yourself? How do you relate with people? How do you respond to emails? How do you reply people on the internet? Netiquette talks about your internet behavior, your internet interactions. How do you comport yourself online? It doesn't just apply to face-to-face, interactions, but etiquette also applies to your online interactions. Some of you here go on social media, dropping comments left, right, and center, right? You don't even care. You're not even concerned about who is watching or who may see it. I know people who have lost opportunities, job opportunities, because they went to troll somebody on Instablog Nigeria. So if you are here, you keep dropping your comments left, right, and center, please, you need to watch yourself, okay? Because that can come back to haunt you. So even in meetings, how do you comport yourself in meetings? Even virtual meetings, as we are right now, how do you comport yourself? If you're not speaking, you mute your microphone. You know, if you're not speaking, you mute your microphone. If you don't have to use your video, you can turn off your video. So these are guidelines. Okay, we'll go into details in the training, in the online video. So please make sure you watch the videos and you can get some more information on each of these points. And that also applies to telephone. How do you answer the telephone? Are you one who when you answer your phone, right, you don't know who is calling? Meanwhile, you're a job seeker. You've submitted your CVs everywhere. And somebody calls you, you go, hello? Yes, it's me. Who's talking? Meanwhile, that's a recruiter. You just applied for a job and somebody is calling you to interview you for a customer service role. And this is how you're replying. Hello, who is that? Yes, I can hear. It's noisy here. Please, can you talk quickly? What do you think is going to happen? The person will just quietly say, thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye. Of course, they won't call you back. So even the way you answer your phone, right? You need to comport yourself. Be professional. There's nothing as good as being professional. Professionalism speaks louder than words. That even before you even open your mouth, by the time your appearance, they see your appearance and countenance, oh, this must be a professional. Okay? So I love this topic because it's something I really enjoy talking about and something I try to exhibit in my own daily life. And you can't stop learning. Even after this training, right? I want to encourage all of you to keep, updating your knowledge on this acceptable way to behave in society. Okay, let's move on quickly. So what is the impact of etiquette in our everyday life? Of course, etiquette is important. Good manners show the best you have to offer. Good manners, and in fact, somebody who has good manners, right, would always find that, doors are open for him. Good manners opens doors for you. People want to associate with you. People want to interact with you because they appreciate your politeness. Something as simple as saying please and thank you. A lot of people find it hard to say please and thank you. These are things that are being taught to children now in school, but a lot of adults find you have to say please and thank you. So you can see, with etiquette, you are able to interact with people. You're able to associate with people. People are drawn to you. Good behavior and manners they never go out of style. They never, no matter how fashionable you are, no matter how up there or popular you are, if you lack etiquette, if you lack basic etiquette and manners, I'm sorry, you're going to be on the wrong side of things. Okay? So you can see etiquette is indeed very important. So I want to encourage every one of us to pay close attention to that topic. Okay, so I'm going to talk about emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence, really? What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is definitely vital for professional success. It is in fact, emotional intelligence has been identified as one of the top 10 skills required to be successful in business. Even the World Economic Forum has ranked emotional intelligence as one of the top 10 skills that employees will require to thrive in the workplace. You may say, oh, I may not be, you may say, oh, I don't plan to work for anybody. I'm going to work for myself so I can behave how I want. Hello, whether you're a business owner, whether you plan to go into business, whether you plan to work for yourself, trust me, you need to be emotionally intelligent. You need to be emotional. You need to understand. You need to be able to pick on social cues. You need to be able to sense the emotional temperature in a room. Don't worry, when I finish this, I'm going to take questions, okay? So if you have questions, you can drop it in the chat box. So when I finish this, I will take questions on etiquette and emotional intelligence. So you can see emotional intelligence is indeed very important. Now let's define emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is basically the ability to understand your own emotions. It is the ability to understand your emotions and the emotions of others. So understanding your own emotion is one step, but being able to understand the emotions of other people is another step. A lot of people say, oh, I know who I am. This is how I am. This is the way I am. This is how I talk. This is how I behave. Please leave me. Oh, just leave me the way I am. Really? We should leave you the way you are. But then you want to interact with people. You want people to do things for you. So you need to be able to understand your emotions, your attitude, and also try to understand the emotions of other people. People with emotional intelligence understand how they are feeling, and they understand how their own emotions, they understand how their actions affect other people. This is a very interesting topic, so I encourage you to pay close attention to this topic when you're listening, when you're watching the videos. In emotional intelligence, we have intrapersonal intelligence, we have interpersonal intelligence, right? Interpersonal intelligence means you are able to interact with other people. You understand how your emotions affect other people. You understand how your actions affect other people. Intrapersonal is being self-aware, is having a sense of yourself, that is knowing what triggers you. What are those emotions? What causes the different kind of emotions you have? Okay, so all this will be explained in the videos. So now, under emotional intelligence, we have different competencies, social skills. For you to be emotionally intelligent, there are certain skills you need to have. You need to have social skills. That's why we are talking about effective communication. That's why we're talking about self-awareness, right? Those are things, skills you need to pick up to become emotionally intelligent. You need to be empathetic. Put yourself in other people's shoes. Try to understand, try to sympathize with people. You need to have motivation. You need to have self-regulation. You need to have self-regulation. What are your limits? What can you take? What are your boundaries? Okay? What are your boundaries? What appeals to you? What are those things you just cannot do? Then you need to be self-aware. We'll talk about all these during the classes. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to teamwork. Let's talk about teamwork. What is a team? What is a team? Teamwork is really important. And if you plan to, if you're in the workplace, you will really understand the importance of teamwork. You cannot achieve certain things alone. In an organization, you need to be able to interact and collaborate with your team. A team is a group of people who are identified by a common goal or a common purpose. They have the goal. They are working together to achieve a common goal. They can be identified by other people as externals as a team. So that is a team. And mind you, there's a group is different from a team. Group may not have a common goal or purpose. You could have a group of people standing in a corner. You could have a group of people entering a plane. Yes, they're a group, but they're not, there's no unique, there's nothing binding them together. But in a team, you're working together to achieve a goal. Okay, so that is the difference between a team and a goal. And in a team, teamwork is really vital. Teamwork is important. For you to be able to succeed and excel, you need the buy-in of your team. And we have different kinds of teams, right? We have different kinds of teams. Teams function at different levels. We have functional teams, we have matrix teams, we have self-managing teams, we have virtual teams. Okay, functional teams is your standard team that has a manager. We have self-managing teams, people who work for themselves, who are working on their own. Okay, they don't report to anybody. We have matrix teams. That is a team that reports to different managers, and we have virtual teams. Don't worry, all this will be spoken more in detail in the video. Okay, so what are the qualities of a high-performing team? Dependability. Dependability. Teammates need to be able to depend on each other to get things done. There's structure and clarity. There's structure and everybody understands what they're supposed to achieve. Each member of the team understands their own deliverable. There's meaning. Everybody understands the importance of their job. There's impact. They believe the work they're doing is important. And there's psychological safety where there's respect. You're free, there's that freedom to air your opinions. And most importantly, there's trust. You need to be able to trust each other. In high-performing teams, you shouldn't have somebody taking the glory for the work another person has done. That is unhealthy. okay, that definitely will not be a high-performing team. Together, everyone achieves more. That certainly is the goal of, you know, having a team. Okay, so now let's see, I'm going to go into questions. So this is just a quick, just let's say a teaser for you to know what's to come in the training. For those of you who have started the training, well done, okay? Well done to those of you who have started the training. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the questions. So if you have questions, I'm going into the chat box now. I'm getting into the chat box now. If you have any questions regarding what I've said, regarding business etiquette, regarding emotional intelligence, I'm happy to take 1 or 2 questions. I think we have 5 more minutes. Yes, we have 5 more minutes. Oh, let's see. This has been my favorite session so far. Oh, thank you very much. This was insightful. Thank you, thank you. Somebody says, how do you deal with a dormant or sleepy team member? Probably they don't have enough work to do. If your team members are sleeping and dormant, then give them work to do. And when you give them the work, let them know their goals, let them know their objectives, let them know what they're expected to achieve. Then that way they will wake up. They will wake up from their sleep. Okay, so any other question? I love your talk about netiquette. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, so if you have questions, please feel free to share, or you can share in the Telegram group. Okay, I want to encourage all of you, please ensure you listen and watch all the videos. Okay, try to watch all the videos. I bet you will love them. You know, this is something that stays with you for life. It's something that's going to be with you for life, okay? So just ensure, you know, you grab all the opportunity, everything you have to learn, please take it. And don't stop learning even when you're done. Continue learning, do your research, okay? Find out more about these topics. And we'll still be sharing resources. We have various resources regarding all the topics that will be shared in the Telegram groups, okay? So if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to any of our co-volunteers. We have Reynard, Elizabeth, Oreolua, Godwin, and Ahmad. They are there to support you. Okay, somebody says, what are the barriers to team members' success? So many. Communication is one. Lack of trust is one. Lack of trust, lack of communication, lack of clear goals. When you have not defined the goals and objectives or the individual responsibilities of the team member, that's certainly a problem. More information can be found in the training. So please, I urge all of you to go on and look at the training and watch the videos. Okay, we have 3 minutes more. Okay, thank you all for your interest. Thank you for being a part of this. Please, let's keep this engagement going. Let's keep the chat. And if you have questions, please feel free to share in the Telegram group. Okay, if you have questions, if you've watched anything you're not clear about, or you want, you want any one of the facilitators, Precious, Olaoluwa, myself, to answer any questions, please feel free to share your questions in the Telegram group. We're all here to support you. We're here to support you, okay? So how do you deal with a strong-necked team member? What do you mean by strong-necked? Please, can you elaborate? Strong neck, do you mean somebody who is proud? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. How do you mean deal with a team, with a member of team that is more interested in individual achievement than collective achievement? I think you need to just sit down with that person and let them understand what the goals are, what you want to achieve. Maybe you need to have a strategy session where everybody understands their different inputs into achieving that collective goal. So probably they don't have a clear understanding. Then when you have that meeting and that discussion, then hold everybody accountable, right? Hold everybody accountable to their action. Okay, people tend to hide their personalities online and only showcase the professional side of themselves. Wouldn't that be pretense? No way, that's not pretense. That's not pretense, right? Will it be hiding? Online, you need to comport yourself in a certain way, because guess what? What is online outlives you. A lot of people who are late and gone today, what they did when they were young is still online. So you need to comport yourself. You cannot, it's not pretense. You are just being respectable. You are being professional. You can't put all your life, you can't put your life story out there. You need to comport yourself. Know the kind of website you visit. Know the kind of pages you drop your comments. Instead, follow thought leaders. Follow people who are in line with your career path, with where you want to go and with what you want to do. Okay? So that's not pretense. You are being professional. You are creating your own personal brand. There's something called a personal brand. That's what you're doing. All right. Okay. How do you deal with a colleague that tries to take all the glory for collective teamwork? This happens all the time in my workplace. That's a very sensitive one. First of all, you probably need to bring the attention to him. If you have a manager, you need to bring that to the attention of your manager or your supervisor, and you need to have evidence. Okay, so it's not enough to say he's taking the glory. Do you have the evidence? If you have the evidence that this is your work and this is your job, bring it to the attention of the manager with your evidence to say, this is what this person is saying, but I'm the one that did this job. This is the evidence. This is the email. This is the email trail. Emails cannot lie, right? So take the evidence to your manager and let management deal with it. Okay, so it's 2:00 now. I love these questions. Oh, beautiful questions are coming in. Don't worry. A lot of the answers to your questions are in the training, right? But still, because of our time, let's take this discussion to the Telegram group. Let's keep this in. Please feel free to ask questions. We are all here to support you. Okay, and it is self-paced. The learning is self-paced. I can see someone asking, when are we starting the training proper? Mr. Ude Uloma, you're on a long thing. People have already started and even almost finished. You are still asking. Please go on the link, all right? The Thinkific link has been shared. Okay, we have this platform called Thinkific. That's where the full video is. What we've done is just a teaser, just to open up your mind, to what you're going to learn. But with the link, you can learn at your own pace. You can finish in 2 days. You can finish in 3 days. You can finish in 1 week. You can finish in 1 day if you have the time, right, to commit to it. The link has been shared, and also all that in the Telegram group. Please refer to the pinned messages in the Telegram group. We have all this information there in the Telegram group, okay? The link is there. The baseline test will also be shared in the Telegram group, and the baseline is also in Thinkific. If you go on Thinkific, you will see the link to the baseline, okay? So everything, and if you have questions, please interact with the co-facilitators. We have Reynat, Ahmad, Oreoluwa, Godwin, Elizabeth there to support you. All right, guys, we are 1 minute past our time. I hope this has been an interesting session, okay? So please share your comments, your reviews, share this on social media, let people know what is happening, okay? Don't be stingy, share with everyone. So we've come to the end of this learning session. We plan to do things like this probably once a week. We may have another session this week or maybe next week, Thursday or Friday. Okay, we plan to have weekly Q&A sessions. So when you've learned something and you're not really clear, we could answer in Telegram group, or you could bring it to the weekly Zoom Q&A session. So it's been an interesting session with all of you. I look forward to engaging with everyone in the Telegram group. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day, and bye-bye.